Hi students, and welcome back to our second IELTS live class of the day. My name is Adrian and I'm streaming to you from beautiful Victoria here in Western Canada. Again, I hope that you are having an outstanding Friday so far, and I hope your weekend is off to a great start. In this lesson, everybody, we're looking at IELTS reading. This is taken from academic IELTS, but it could be a third section of a general IELTS exam as well, talking about or reading about the lottery. So gambling, playing games of fortune, the lottery is a common and well-known topic around the world. Welcome, Carolina, our chat moderator. Hi, Rakib Angel. Shamaila, Anahita Elizabeth, nice to see many members and subscribers in this class. Students, to join the chat, you have to subscribe. It's free. You just subscribe to the YouTube channel. To become a member, you have to join. This is, again, a presentation brought to you by aehelp.com for academic IELTS success. Check us out there. For the general IELTS, visit us at gieltshelp.com. These are our websites. They power these live classes. They contain our videos, exams, audio materials. So if you join these live classes regularly, it's a really good idea to join the premium version and use the materials on and offline whenever you have time in the day. This is the academic IELTS website here. Click this big red button that's just right above my head there to join the premium version of the course. It's a one-time payment. You get lifetime access. It does not cost a lot. In fact, our one-time payment is often less than our competitors' subscription model. So we're here to help as many students as we can. We're an IDP affiliate. We're a British Council partner. We're an IELTS test registration center and certified British Council agents. We are here for you. We are world leaders when it comes to IELTS exams. For general IELTS, it's this green background here. So for general IELTS reading materials, definitely join this here. Click the big red button. One-time payment, lifetime access. All right, and we have this very special discount code for you for the next few days. It's IG 100K. That's celebrating our 100,000 followers on Instagram. And it's a 25% discount. So check that out. It's for you. It's kind of a big thank you for helping us achieve that milestone. All right, everyone. So yeah, 100,000 followers, IG 100K. It's awesome. We're super excited about that. Apps, they're in your app stores, Academic IELTS Help and General IELTS Help. And Instagram is IELTS_AE Help and GIELTS Help. You can check out our Instagram profiles and follow us. All right. If you have questions, Adrian at aehelp.com. Send me an email, or admin at aehelp.com. Students, we've got reading right now, and then tomorrow we'll have speaking part 2, speaking part 3. That's usually the way we do it, ending on speaking. Lots of good practice. Chen, thank you for sharing the emails. Carolina is mentioning that you can use the code IG100K in Shopify as well. Yes, we have Shopify linking now through YouTube, and you can use the code IG100K through Shopify. Also, just make sure if you buy through Shopify, send an email to us to activate your account. We haven't automated it yet. All right, there we go. That's the video released last week. Check it out. It's a good one. Okay, reading tips. Tip number 1. Sounds kind of funny, but think before you read. Okay. There are a lot of candidates who just kind of do this. Okay, reading section, lotteries, whatever the title. A lottery is a form of gambling. Okay, I don't need to read that. Let's just jump to the questions. Okay, the problem of gambling addiction. I'm going to start skimming and scanning for gambling addiction. Ooh, people gambling at casinos. Maybe it's this one. Maybe here. No, it's okay. Let's see. Nope. Okay, let's keep going. That's probably not it. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, wait, what? I don't see addiction, but I see obsessed, and I know that obsessed kind of means addiction. So, however, there are many people, often poor people, who become obsessed with gambling and takes over their lives. Oh, okay, I think this is the right answer right here. It doesn't say gambling addiction, but I was really good. I actually realized that obsessed with gambling in the lottery starts to take over their lives. That means gambling addiction. So I realized that the answer for number 1 is D. Woo! Woo! All right, this was actually fast skimming and scanning and recognizing, paraphrasing. $1 million question, everybody. How long did that answer take me? How long did that answer take me? Think about that. That was super important. Okay. So I was skimming and scanning, and honestly, I didn't really read any of it, so I don't really know what was going on with the rest of the text. I just kind of skimmed through it and realized that that's probably where it is. Aditya says 90 seconds. No, Aditya, I would say it was closer to 3 minutes. Okay. Took me about 3 minutes to get that question. Domenico says it took you forever to identify it. Yeah, Kruti says about 2 minutes. Okay, how many questions are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Let's say, because that was the first question, and theoretically, according to IELTS, that was probably the easiest question. So let's say that took me 2 to 3 minutes, Carolina. Absolutely. What is, so I'm just trying to, again, show people what is the problem with skimming and scanning. So skimming and scanning is not the right strategy. It is a last resort. So it's your last strategy. The example here is it took me 2 to 3 minutes. Let's say it took me 3 minutes, because that's probably what it took me. And that was fast, okay? That's with a native speaker mind. That's with looking for the paraphrasing of obsessed, because the word addicted is not in the passage. And I got it right, but it took me 3 minutes. 3 minutes times 13 equals how much? 39 minutes? Okay, so a lot of candidates say, oh, there's not enough time for reading. There's not enough time for skimming and scanning for answers. That's for sure. Okay, 39 minutes. Let's say, okay, you're really practicing and you've managed to like just become the champion of skimming and scanning. It's still going to take you 30 minutes. Doesn't work. Okay, let's not even talk about, it just says the exam's over. You finished one passage. So skimming and scanning doesn't work. Okay, it's a last resort. All right, it seems like it's fast, but it's not. It's the story of the rabbit and the turtle, right? It's the rabbit. You can't be the rabbit. The race will be over by the time you wake up and you realize it's not happening. Okay, so skimming and scanning, not effective, not usually. All right. So think before you read. All right. The right strategies. Okay. 1, read the title and think about it. 2, read questions that are in the text and think about it. 3, read the passage in 8 minutes and think about it. All right. 4, read the question, think about it, and answer it. Okay. Now, I'm not trying to be smug here, right? So you're like, yeah, obviously, Adrian, that would be the, the right way. I'm not trying to be smug here. I'm just really trying to emphasize the importance of following these steps to actually really do well in your IELTS exam, okay? And if you can't do it this way, then maybe wait a little bit before you sit your IELTS exam. Don't waste $300. Don't stress. Don't waste your time, okay? If you're just doing skimming and scanning because it takes you 20 minutes to read the text, then you need to just practice reading and improve your reading skills before you sit your IELTS exam, okay? All right, so let's do it the right way. Okay. Okay, here we go, everybody. So let's read the title. Lotteries, positive good or unnecessary wrong. So here I'm thinking, okay, what is a lottery? A lottery is a type of gambling. It's a game where people try to get lucky by choosing winning numbers to win millions of dollars so that they become instantly rich and they live wealthy and happy lives. Okay, well, why is it bad? Well, it's gambling, so it's wasting money, it's wasting time, it's focusing energy on hope that's not realistic instead of putting that energy into a business idea or into exercise or some other more beneficial or fruitful part of life, right? So I'm thinking about that. Everybody's good? Yeah? We're all kind of focusing on lotteries, positive of lotteries, becoming stinking rich overnight, or the negatives, losing lots of money over time and becoming depressed that life is not fair. Okay. All right. So then, I shouldn't laugh, right? But the reality, the irony. Those of you who can laugh at the irony of life will lead a happy life. Remember that. All right. So then we have reading passage 1 has 6 paragraphs, A to F. Okay. So sure. A, B, C, D, E, F. All right. And we've got 5 questions here. Pay attention. You can use any letter more than once. All right. The problem of gambling addiction. Okay. The negatives of being obsessed with lotteries. Sure. So kind of thinking of a way to paraphrase that idea, and then that will help me to figure out, what that might be as best as I can. So at home, you want to kind of paraphrase these sentences. By the way, read these types of questions because all of this information is somewhere in the passage and it will shed light onto the content, so you will understand it. Now notice I'm using a lot of vocabulary like shed light, stinking rich. Make sure you're writing these down, okay? So anytime you hear me say a word and you're like, oh, wait a second, was that New English? Write it down, right? Stinking rich. We also say filthy rich in English. I can't remember what I just said, but anyway, the second one that I just mentioned, write it down. Stinking rich or filthy rich means very wealthy. Okay. So write down new vocabulary. If you're not sure what it means, ask me. Okay. Yeah, I'm right. It's not shade light. It's shed light. but I got it from what you wrote, so good. Shed light means to clarify, to explain. So we'll say, for example, to shed light on the situation. Okay. All right. Yes, shed light. Very good. Okay. It means to clarify or to explain, right? Because you illuminate. Okay. Good. So anytime you hear me, I do that on purpose. It's not by accident, that vocabulary. I'm using that on purpose. Okay. Yes, Gitu, the answers are sometimes random, sometimes in order. There is no rule in the IELTS that they come in order. Be very careful. Sometimes some teachers, some videos, they say, oh, these questions are always in order. Some of them are often in the order of the passage, like the true, false, not given, but they're not always in the same order or the right order. And sometimes you have the answer in multiple locations, so it can be confusing about the order. That's an important point. Did you catch that? So sometimes the answers are not just in one place, but they're in several different places throughout the passage. So that will become very confusing when you're thinking about the order of the answers. Okay, so you shouldn't think about the order of the answers necessarily. Okay, be careful. All right. Okay, those less fortunate are more likely to play the lottery. David says the poorer the people are, the more likely they will play. Yes, the poor are more likely to gamble. Sure. That is a good paraphrase, David. I paraphrased it a little bit more, but that's the idea. The legality of lotteries, the rules and laws surrounding lotteries. Yeah, so at home, practice paraphrasing these types of questions because they're almost always paraphrased in the passage. The financial incentive for governments to run lotteries, okay. The monetary, financial is monetary, money. The monetary benefits instead of incentives. Incentives means like the positives. The monetary benefits for authorities to have lotteries. Sure. Okay. It's a nice paraphrase. Now paraphrase these as I'm doing it. In the real exam, you're only doing this in your head. You don't have time to paraphrase on paper. Okay, so just quickly as you read, you paraphrase as much as possible. And Aditya says government earns tax money. Yeah, you can even think about the answers for that. Sure. Nope. Sherry says, is it necessary that the keyword is almost exactly the same? Nope. The key word, Sherry, for gambling addiction was completely different. It was people are obsessed with gambling. It was people are obsessed with gambling or not even gambling. It was lotteries. Even gambling wasn't the same. So Sherry, for many of the questions, the words are completely different. Maybe one of five. So if you do enough IELTS practice tests, you're going to realize this. And I'm sure some of you will say, yeah, Adrian, I noticed that. Maybe only one of 5 or 6 questions actually will have one word that's the same keyword as in the passage. Okay. So keep that in mind. Okay. All right. So usually the words are paraphrased, right? It's one of the ways they test your understanding, of course. Okay. Angel says that makes sense. Yeah, because it's not matching words game, right? It's understanding, right, is what they're checking. Community initiatives are funded by lottery proceeds. Okay, so projects in society are supported by money from the lottery. Sure. Okay. Now, if you don't know what the sentence means when you're practicing at home, you should definitely check, right? Okay. Yeah, Aditya, very good. Aditya says lottery winnings benefit society projects. Yeah, absolutely. That's really good. Hishikesh, good to see you. Hishikesh says, what's the difference between gambling and lotteries? Okay. Not much. They're kind of synonyms, Hishikesh. Lotteries, usually people think of the number games where you have to choose numbers and then somebody draws numbers. But in fact, lottery does include other types of gambling. Gambling is more general, Hishikesh. Gambling is all kinds of games where you try to win money through chance. Lotteries are kind of some types of gambling, okay? All right. So think about it that way. Okay, next set of questions. Do the following statements agree with the information given in reading passage 1? Now, this is reading, everybody, so don't just listen to me, but read also with me. Okay, read. Okay. So, true, the statement agrees. False, the statement contradicts. Not given, there's no information. Okay. We don't read those ones. We don't know what is true. We don't know what is false. We don't know what is not given. It's confusing to read before the passage, so we just ignore it. Okay. Here we have a complete the summary using the list of words. Don't pay attention to the list of words. We don't know which ones are good, which ones are bad, so we don't read those. Okay. The list of words are below, but I'm ignoring those. All right. So, lotteries as reverse insurance. Now here, reverse insurance is in quotation marks, so there's going to be a part of the passage that's directly about reverse insurance. Okay, so pay attention to that. All right, the reason why people play the lottery can be viewed in terms of what is called reverse insurance. Read this. This is somewhere in the passage. In fact, this is going to be a specific part of the passage. Summary completion questions often are one of the biggest paragraphs in the passage, or a combination of 2-3 smaller or medium-sized paragraphs, okay? It's not necessarily just one paragraph. So pay attention to that, okay? Karangdeep, it's a little bit off topic, but yes, confidence is very important in your speaking. Fatime, reverse insurance, we're going to find out. It's in the passage. Okay, people buy insurance in order to prevent an accident from making them bankrupt. They pay small amounts each month so they don't have to pay the whole price of the something done. Like the lottery corporations, insurance companies turn us something in the long run. With insurance, we pay small amounts to avoid paying a massive amount. With the lottery, we pay small amounts so we might win the something. From this perspective, the lottery's something makes a lot of sense. Okay, good. So lottery insurance somehow connected. One is to pay a little bit so we don't lose a lot. The other is to pay a little bit so we win a lot. That's the reverse insurance. Okay, good. All right, so our next step now is to read the passage. Okay, and the way we're going to do that is first we're going to listen to a British person read the passage from our website. This is one of the advantages of our IELTS course, is we have all of the audio reading. Now, in the real IELTS, you do not have somebody reading the audio. It's just you. But at home, when you're practicing, this is really helpful to learn English and to help you improve reading. So we go to the website, again, aehelp.com. Once more, if you're in these live classes regularly, join the premium version so that you can practice and use it not just during the live classes, but offline, etc. So really a great benefit there. Okay, so you go to your My Student account, and where you have your practice exams, your interactive course that I showed you in the last class, and then you have your audio CDs. Now, here the textbook is telling me that this is going to be reading audio CD2 track 5, which makes sense because it's test 2 passage 1. So everybody just listen right now and read together, because you will have a chance to volunteer and read afterwards. Okay, so audio CDs, CD2, track 5. Here we go.
Lotteries, positive good or unnecessary wrong? A lottery is a form of gambling where contestants purchase tickets, with one or more tickets being drawn as winners at the end of the competition period. Often, there is a jackpot winner who wins most or all of the prize pool. Today, national lottery jackpots can range from millions to hundreds of millions of dollars. It wasn't long ago that lotteries were outlawed almost everywhere in the world. Today, lotteries are legal in North America, Australia, and much of Europe and Asia. A question is raised over what has changed to make something previously seen as negative for society become common across the globe. If gambling is bad, why are lotteries so popular? And why do governments support them? People buy lottery tickets for one chief reason: they want to win the jackpot. In the long run, lotteries are a bad bet. The odds of winning are always stacked against the player. That is to say, the long-term expected return on the player's money is significantly less than the money paid for the tickets. This is how the lottery corporations make money on the lottery. The payout is far less than the revenue of the ticket sales, and the government takes the difference. If 1 million tickets are sold at $5 apiece, and the jackpot is $3 million, then the government has made $2 million of profit in the process. We are forced to question why lotteries are so popular, given their poor value for players. It's because of the thrill of possibly winning the jackpot. The anticipation of a life-changing win for the ticket purchaser is worth the money. It's the same reason why people gamble at casinos. Many people know they are not going to win in the long run at a casino, but the short-term thrill makes up for the long-term losses. The main argument against lotteries is that it acts as a tax on the poor, and such a tax is unfair. This is because statistics show that poor people are by far the most common purchasers of lottery tickets. There are two reasons why this could be the case. First, poor people have the most to gain by winning the lottery. Second, poor people are arguably less likely to have a statistical understanding of the lottery. They are less likely to realise that it is a bad bet. The main argument in favour of lotteries is that it is a harmless fun, which results in tax income that often goes straight to community programmes, such as sports or the arts. Many community programmes rely solely on lottery finances to operate. So in this sense, the lottery is a positive good. However, there are many people, often poor people, who become obsessed with gambling and the lottery, and it starts to take over their lives. For these people, the lottery is detrimental. One interesting way to look at the lottery and why people participate in it is to imagine it as a kind of reverse insurance. People buy insurance for their home or car so that if something bad happens to it, they do not have to pay the entire cost of the damage. In other words, they pay a little bit each month so that they don't have to pay a large amount at one time. They pay these smaller amounts to insurance companies, and those insurance companies make money in the long run, so paying insurance is not a good bet either. Just like the lottery. With the lottery, we pay little amounts every once in a while so that maybe we will hit the jackpot. With insurance, we pay a little to save a lot, and with the lottery, we pay a little to win a lot. When looked at in this way, the popularity of the lottery is more easily understood. When it comes to it, lotteries are a choice. Yes, they amount to a tax, but so do the monthly fees we pay to insurance companies. If people want to pay a few dollars here and there for a little fun, excitement, and a small chance to win a monstrous amount of money, then what's the harm? Additionally, lottery money funds many valuable community programs which otherwise would have trouble operating. Playing the lottery responsibly is fun, exciting, and maybe, just maybe, extremely profitable.
All right. Let's stop the audio.
The Siberian
here.
and Bengal tigers.
And as a couple of you noticed there in the chat, it's of course the British accent. Most of the audio for IELTS is British accent, so the website audio for you is of course British accent. We want you to be familiar with that British accent. All right, everybody. By the way, if you see this red button on the website in your My Student account, it means that in your country you can register for the IDP home-based version of the IELTS exam. That's only if you see that red button. If you don't see it, it means it's not available in your country. And another quick FYI, you can also get our course through YouTube now. You'll see the products and you'll see the courses available through Shopify. So that's really cool also. All right, there's lots of ways to help you. Okay, students, so let's stay with the website. So again, this is aehelp.com, and we're going to do a bit of volunteering for reading. So that I know that was, kind of fast for many of you, and I definitely recommend that at home, a good way to practice and use the website is to listen, read, and then read it again at your speed and really focus on the content, on what you are reading. So we're going to do that together, okay? And what I would like to ask you is that you go to the website. Again, this is aehelp.com. Amra and Carolina have put the instructions into the chat for you, okay? So this is aehelp.com. And once you're there, again, you can log in or you can register an account by clicking the big red button, okay? And then once you're in your My Student account, you've got this function here, which is the student partner speaking. Click on that, and then I can get volunteers to help me read this and get into the answers. So we'll read together, and we'll do the questions and answers together with students as well. It's a lot more interactive, a lot more fun. You have a chance to ask me questions about the reading passages, and lots of great learning to be had. Okay, so you can see people now joining in on the chat here, and they're volunteering. You'll see me in here as Master, my handle. And you can ping me by clicking on the blue envelope next to Master and then sending a message saying I want to volunteer, I'd like to read, and then I can reach out to you. Anahita, you were the first one I saw message me, so let's give you a chance here. Are you ready? Okay. And again, students, test the system before you volunteer. That's always my recommendation, just to make sure that it's working for you. You do need a good internet connection, especially if you're running YouTube and the chat interface simultaneously. Okay, so good internet connection is highly recommended.
Hello, sir.
Hi, Anahita. How are you?
I'm doing well, sir. How about you?
I'm also doing really well. Thank you for asking, Anahita. All right. Is it a nice sunny day in Ontario today?
It's a little bit cloudy, I think.
Oh, it's overcast. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, here it's quite sunny. We've had some very hot summer days. Okay. Well,
yesterday night it was raining very strongly, heavily.
Heavily, that's right. Yes, it was raining heavily.
Yes.
Interesting. We haven't had heavy rain in a while, so different weather. Well, you are about 4,000 kilometers away from me, so even though you're in Canada, it's very far, right?
Yeah.
Atlantic versus Pacific. Okay, Anahita, let's do a bit of reading here. So I will get you to read the title and the introductory paragraph. You're going to see it on the screen any second now. So whenever you're ready, go ahead and read title and paragraph A, the introduction.
Lotteries, positive good or unnecessary wrong. A lottery is a form of gambling where contestants purchase tickets with one or more tickets being drawn as winners at the end of the competition period. Often there is a jackpot winner who wins most or all of the prize pool. Today, national lottery jackpots can range from millions to hundreds of millions of dollars. It wasn't long ago that lotteries were outlawed almost everywhere in the world. Today, lotteries are legal in North America, Australia, and much of the Europe and Asia. A question is raised over what has changed to make something previously seen as negative for society become common across the globe. If gambling is bad, why are lotteries so popular, and why do governments support them?
Okay, in a simple way. So when you're reading like this at home, and I definitely recommend reading aloud like you just did, of course, what you need to do at this point, Anahita, is just stop for a second and in your own thinking in your head, summarize the key concept in one sentence. So when you think about that, what is the main concept that the author is introducing here? And it's going to be, of course, the theme of the entire passage. So what is that?
About this that purchase the contestant purchaser of the lotteries win one or two of them wins their game and gets money. And secondly, about this
Too complicated. I'm going to stop you there, Anita. It's too much information. TMI, right? Too much information, too complicated. Much simpler. What's the main? So if I ask you, you only have, let's say, 5 or 6 words to tell me this answer. What's the main idea of this introduction?
the legalization of the lotteries.
Okay, that's closer. I think you're much closer to the accurate answer. Try again.
The current legalization of no.
Let's see if somebody in the chat is able to pick it out. You can help, Anahita, so don't be passive listeners, everybody. Be active. The question is not just for Anahita, it's for everybody. So, okay, do you see what Amra is saying? Amra is using a question. Now, Amra, you want to usually try and answer a statement, not a question, but you're on the right track, Amra. So when you're thinking about, what is the main point, try to think about not a question answer, but think about a statement answer. Anahita, do you see Amra's question there? Okay, can you change that into a statement?
Yes, sure. The lottery is allowed despite its negative, despite its negativities.
Okay, much better. Yeah, so that's your best answer so far. So lotteries are legal even though there are lots of negatives associated with it. Yeah, if I want to simplify that into even more concise sentence, Anahita, I could say lotteries have been very controversial.
Okay.
Throughout history.
Okay.
Okay, so would you agree that that's kind of the main point of this introduction, is that lotteries have been really controversial. They've been allowed, they've been not allowed, people win, people lose, and some people think it's good, some people think it's bad, right? Religion says lottery is evil, it's against God, right? But some people really want to become millionaires. So they've been very controversial, and that's what this essay is exploring. Do you see how that is kind of the main idea here?
Yes, sir. Yes, I can see.
Yeah? Okay. All right. So focus on that. And when you're doing this at home, and this is a tip for everybody, when you're doing this at home, you should keep thinking about this answer until you're satisfied. So if you're not satisfied with the answer, if you're like, it's not the best, then keep thinking. And if you're having difficulty, Anahita, what should you do?
I should ask another person?
Absolutely, right? Ask somebody else or read it again. Read it again until you have absolute clarity in your head and you realize, it's like about the controversy of lotteries, right? Even the title. So the title and the introduction, they usually kind of match each other. Notice how the title is positive good or unnecessary wrong. If we think about that, right? Positive good or unnecessary wrong, we're really talking about controversy. Right? The good and the bad, right? So, okay, Anahita, thank you so much for reading and for giving me the opportunity to share that important point. Okay.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, sir.
Okay, bye, Anahita.
Bye, sir. Have a good day.
All right, really important, everyone. A lot of questions in the IELTS, like list of headings or which paragraph contains this information. A lot of the questions deal with your ability to identify the main point of the paragraph. Everybody got that? Okay, so it's a very important skill, obviously for university and the workplace also, but for IELTS especially, you really need to figure out what the main point of each paragraph is to do well. A lot of the questions will focus on that. I would say about half of the questions focus on that concept. Okay. Yeah, good job, Anahita. Absolutely. All right, let's check in with Maya. I think, Aditya, we gave you a chance a couple of classes ago, but Maya maybe not as much recently. Maya's a premium student. Look at all the premium students, everybody. Holy smokes. Wow, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 premium students dominating the chat there. That is impressive. That's a good sign. That means a lot of you are thinking smart. Maya, are you ready? I was just surprised by that. I don't know if I've seen that high proportion of premium students in the chat before. That's really, really great to see, everyone. That's what we want to see, and we want to see all of you interacting with each other. That's super, super, super. It makes me happy. Okay. Maya says yes. Hi, Maya.
Hello.
How are you?
Can you hear me?
I can. Maya, make sure that you're listening to me through the website and not through YouTube. If you listen to me through YouTube, there's a delay, right? So just make sure that you've got
I
YouTube.
closed YouTube, so can you hear me clearly?
I can. Are you still able to see the text on the screen?
Yes.
Okay, great. So you will see paragraph B coming up in just a moment. When you see paragraph B come up, can you read that paragraph for me?
Okay. People buy lottery tickets for one chief reason. They want to win the jackpot. In the long run, lotteries are a bad bet. The odds of winning are always stacked against the player. That is to say, the long-term expected return on the player's money is significantly less than the money paid for the tickets. This is how the lottery corporations make money on the lottery. The payout is far less than the revenue of the ticket sales, and the government takes the difference. If 1 million tickets are sold at $5 a piece and the jackpot is $3 million, then the government has made $2 million of profit in the process. We are forced to question why lotteries are so popular given their poor value for players. It's because of the thrill of possibly winning the jackpot, the anticipation of a life-changing win for the ticket purchaser is worth
Worth the money?
I lost.
Yeah, it's the second or third line up from the bottom, because I just moved it. I know. It's the third line up from the bottom.
It is worth the money. It's the same reason why people gamble at casinos. Many people know they're not going to win in the long run at the casino, but the short-term thrill makes up for the long-term losses.
Okay, good. Maya, great. Maya, that speed that you're reading is enough for IELTS to get a good band score as long as you understand what you're reading, okay? Some people think that they need to read really fast to do well on the IELTS. It's not true. You can read at, 8 to 10 minutes for the passage. What's more important is that you're understanding what you read. So in that spirit, Maya, what is this paragraph about? So what's the main idea of this paragraph?
This paragraph about how lottery tickets work.
Yeah, or how lotteries work, right? Simply. Okay, what is the main point?
Yes, lottery, not tickets.
And how do they work?
Well, they're value cheap, but they're wasting a lot of time and money, and government made a lot of money from that.
Right. And one kind of fun note, when you're doing reading at home and even in the actual IELTS, it's really important to be an active reader. So to really think about what you're reading and to have fun with it. And a lot of people do play lotteries. Do you play the lottery, Maya? Do you ever buy a lottery ticket?
Once, maybe. not much.
Okay, so rarely, but you have, right? And you know, one funny part of this paragraph, it says that you know, if 1 million tickets are sold at $5 a piece, and the jackpot is $3 million, then the government has made $2 million of profit, right?
Yes.
What a lot of people don't realize is people don't always win the lottery. So if nobody wins, then how much money has the government made?
Yes.
$5 million, right?
We don't know how they.
Well, they made
Yes.
5 million, right? Because nobody won the 3 million, right? So
Yes.
people don't always get the jackpot, right? So, all right. So have fun, be active, have fun with the reading, right? That's when you're like, oh yeah, wait a second, the government makes that 5 million no matter what happens if somebody wins or doesn't win. Okay, so definitely the main point of this paragraph is the mechanism or the way the lottery works, right? Absolutely. All right,
Yes.
Maya, thank you so much for volunteering. I hope you have an awesome rest of your day.
Okay. Thank you, Adrian. Have a good day.
You too. Bye, Maya. All right, by the way, everybody, thumbs up for the readers, right? Okay, it's so important to support each other. Okay, Hishikesh, how you doing? Are you ready? I'm happy that you're in the reading class. I know you had a speaking session with me, Hishikesh, so that's great. Hishikesh, you can read the next paragraph if you're up for it. Also a hardworking, studious member, premium member of our website. Hishikesh, if you're there, yeah, good. Hopefully you can connect. I know you had some problems before. Hi, Hishikesh.
Yeah, am I audible?
You are, Hishikesh. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good.
Awesome. Hishikesh, just a quick question here. So Hishikesh did an IELTS speaking interview assessment with me. Hishikesh, did you get that follow-up email that I sent you with marks in the recording?
Yes, I got it.
Awesome. Did you listen to the recording?
Yes, I've listened it and improving my skills currently.
Good. Good. I always wonder how many people actually listen again, but I'm happy that you did. That's really good. That's the goal. Okay,
Yeah, I'm currently
good.
working with my grammars right now.
Perfect. Great. All right, Hishikesh, you'll see paragraph C coming up here on the screen in just a second. Whenever you're ready, read paragraph C.
Okay. The main argument against lotteries is that it acts as a tax on the poor. Such a tax is unfair. This is because statistics show that poor people are by far the most common purchasers of lottery tickets. These are the two reasons why this could be the case. First, poor people have the most to gain by winning the lottery. Second, poor people are arguably less likely to have a statistical understanding of the lottery. They are less likely to realize that it is a bad bet.
What is this paragraph about?
Uh, it is about the effect of the poor people without knowing the actual cause of lottery that might affect them.
Absolutely. Now, Hishikesh, concisely. So in a simple way, negative effects of the lottery on poor people, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, so always just, it's really important, even with the most complicated topics and text in the IELTS, you need to be able to just simplify it. So the more you can simplify and the more accurately you can simplify, the greater the chance that you're going to get a lot of the questions correct and get a high score, okay? All right, let's jump to D. Go ahead and read D as well. These are little short ones, so go ahead and read D.
Yeah. Okay. The main argument in favor of lottery is that it's harmless fund which results in tax income that often goes straight to community programs such as sports or arts. Many community programs are rely solely on lottery finances to operate. So in this sense, the lottery is a positive good. However, there are many people, often poor people, who become obsessed with gambling and lottery, and it starts to take over their lives. For these people, the lottery is detrimental.
Okay. So what is this paragraph about?
Uh, this paragraph is about the positive effects that lotteries are creating for the societies like sports and arts.
Yeah. So just keep it simple. Positive effects of lottery on society. Yes. And
Yeah. And also the effect of negative effects for the poor people.
yeah. And again, simplify also addiction for poor people.
Yeah, addiction. Yes.
Right. Okay.
Yes.
Absolutely. So again, simply as simply as possible. All right, Hishikesh, that was really good. So that's what you want to do. Make sure you practice that. And when you're doing the reading at home, because I know we talked about improving grammar, right? So reading is a great way to improve grammar, of course, right? Because you're looking at accurate, correct grammar. And so what you want to do is when you do this, what is it about? And then checking the answer, always make sure that whatever answer you come up with, it's short, it's concise, and it's grammatically accurate, okay? And then that will also help you to improve your grammar at the same time. That makes sense, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Hishikesh, thank you so much. Continue the studies. I look forward to helping you achieve your goals.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, bye, Hishikesh. All right, let's give Hishikesh a thumbs up as well. Just putting along, doing really great, everybody. All right, let's take another person. I'm trying to look for people who haven't had a chance in the last few classes to volunteer. So I think Ubaydulayev maybe has been kind of waiting for a while. So are you ready? Okay, we've got a couple more paragraphs in the questions coming up. So we're definitely going to need more and more volunteers. So hang in there, everybody. Okay, even if I'm jumping around, I'll need at least about maybe 3-4 more volunteers for sure. Okay. So, and learn from each other. Okay, learn from each other.
Hi, Sir.
Hi, Ubaydulayev. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. How about you?
I'm also doing good. Thanks for reverting the question. All right. You're going to see paragraph E come up on the screen here any moment. I think there's about a 6-second delay. Once you see it, just start reading.
Okay. One interesting way to look at the lottery and why people participate in it is to imagine it as a kind of reverse insurance. People buy insurance for their home or car so that if something bad happens to it, they do not have to pay the entire cost of the damage. In other words, they pay a little bit each month so that they don't have to pay a large amount at one time. They pay these smaller amounts to insurance companies, and those insurance companies make money in the long run. So paying insurance is not a good bet either. Oh, it's not a good bet either. Just like the lottery, with the lottery we pay little amounts every once in a while so that maybe we will hit the jackpot. With insurance, we pay a little to save a lot, and with the lottery, we pay a little to win a lot. When when looked at in this way, the popularity of the lottery is more easily understood.
Okay, very good. All right, yeah, so lots of commas in this paragraph, and that makes the pacing a little bit trickier, but you did a good job, Ubaydulayev, to pay attention
Thanks.
to those commas. This is just a tip for everybody. It's very important that you pay attention to those half breaks, those commas that are there. They're not by accident, and they definitely affect your ability to understand the text. There's tons of them. I think this paragraph probably has like 15 commas, so I'm not going to highlight all of them, but you can see me kind of go through some of them. They definitely affect your ability to understand. And when you're reading loudly, like you just did, Ubaydulayev, you catch those and you know, okay, I have to pay attention. Like with the lottery, we pay
Yeah.
little amounts every once in a while so that maybe we will hit the jackpot. With insurance, we pay a little. So it's good. However, the issue is that, of course, in the real IELTS, we don't read aloud, right? Because then they just kick you out. So,
Yeah.
right? So you have to read silently. And one of the common mistakes or problems when people read silently is they don't pay attention to punctuation. So they just read like this: with the lottery, we pay a little amount once in a while so that we have to jackpot. With insurance, we pay a little to save a lot. And then just read, right? And then suddenly they're like, what am I reading? Right?
Yeah.
I know all these words, but I don't know what I just read. So a really important tip, everyone, is pay attention to commas and periods and semicolons the same way when you're reading quietly as when you're reading aloud, and not just for the IELTS, but for all of the reading that you do, okay? So you should never just like robotically read through, because that will greatly decrease your ability to understand. Does that make sense, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So always pay attention to punctuation, whether you're reading quietly or loudly, okay, or silently. All right. What is this paragraph about?
I would say this paragraph is about insurance.
Not quite. It's a little bit more than that. You should always think, okay, it's always going to be related to the topic, and the topic here is lottery, right? So what it's about is always related to the topic. It wouldn't make sense to write a paragraph suddenly about insurance. So there's something a little bit more here. Can you try it one more time?
Yeah. Insurance makes
Let me give you one word to help you. Compare.
Okay.
The word that you should be thinking to use in your answer here is comparing.
Okay.
So think about comparing in your answer. The paragraph.
Sir,
It's okay. It's a bit challenging. It's okay, and silence is okay. It's okay to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. So it is comparing insurance to lottery, right?
Oh yeah.
So that's what this paragraph is doing. It compares insurance to lottery to give a better understanding to the reader, right?
Yeah.
To clarify people's thinking, right? So that's what the main goal is here. And again, it's totally okay not to get that right away. And what you want to do here is just think about it until it's clear. If it's not, read it again, right? And then you realize, oh, okay. Now, the other thing here is there's a question, that summary type question, right? And I saw some of your answers, Badulev. I think that was you in the beginning of the chat.
Oh yeah.
Right? See, I catch those. I'm paying attention to the chat more than people think. So a lot of people here, when they're in the real IELTS, they would stop and they go, oh, that's the question about the lotteries, right? Here's a question. Should you stop after this paragraph and answer this summary question, lottery is reverse insurance, or should you just finish the passage? What do you think is the better strategy?
I need to finish the passage.
Absolutely. Yeah. You should never, like, when you realize that, oh, this paragraph has a lot of answers for the questions, you're going to know that. So it's not like you're going to suddenly forget that happened, right? So you're going to remember that even when you finish the passage. The problem, if you stop and start answering questions, you lose the overall kind of message or intent of the author. And very frequently there will be a few questions that focus on your complete understanding of the passage. So if you jump between the passage and the questions, it becomes really difficult to answer some of those questions. So for example, true, false, not given, some of those not given statements become really challenging if you're jumping between the passage and the questions. Okay?
Yeah.
So that's why you want to read it all. Like, you might as well just read it all and finish the passage, right? And then answer the questions. Okay? Make sense? Yeah?
Yes, sure.
All right. Ubadilev, thank you so much for volunteering and bearing with me. I appreciate that.
Thank you, Mr. Adrian.
Okay, just a quick question before you go. Are those crickets that I'm hearing in the background chirping?
Oh, yeah.
It sounds like do you have a window open? And those are the sounds of crickets, right?
Yes, my window is open.
It's a beautiful sound. It's really cool. Yeah, I like it. It's great.
By the way, I'm from Uzbekistan.
Yeah, I guessed that, and I'm guessing that you have some nice nature surrounding you where those crickets are hiding and making those sounds.
Oh, yeah.
That's great. All right. Well, I'm guessing it's also late because crickets usually play their music at nighttime. So have a good rest of your night or evening, Ubadulev, and then we'll talk again soon. Okay.
Thank you, teacher. Take care of yourself.
Thank you. Bye for now. All right. That was Ubadulev and some music of the crickets in the background there. Carolina has included a little cricket emoji for us, as humans like crickets. All right, let's jump to Tran. Tran, you're not a premium member, but that is absolutely okay. You're here with us and you're giving it your best. Tran, are you ready? If you're there, Tran, let me know. And then you can volunteer for a bit of reading. No, Mal, not the cricket the game. Cricket's the insect. Yes. Hi, Trent.
Yeah,
How are you?
well, I'm doing well. How about you?
I am also doing well. Thank you for asking, Tran. All right, Tran, are you in Vietnam?
Yes, I'm currently in Hanoi.
In Hanoi. So even later for you than it is for Ubadulev. You're even further east. All right. Tran, you should see the conclusion, paragraph F, coming up on the screen. Whenever you see it and when you're ready, just begin reading.
Yes, the paragraph F. When it comes down to it, lotteries are a choice. Yes, they amount to a tax. So do the monthly fees we pay to insurance companies. If people want to pay a few dollars a year and there for a little fun, excitement, and a small chance to win a monstrous amount of money, then what's the harm? Additionally, lottery monies fund many valuable community programs which otherwise would have trouble operating. Playing the lottery responsibly is fun, exciting, and maybe, just maybe, extremely profitable.
Very nice. Okay. All right. Good. Tran, I think that was decent for sure. And I do think that just doing a regular kind of 20 minutes of aloud reading just to get that nice fluency and rhythm going will be very beneficial for you. So you've got a very good foundation. I highly recommend, and that's not just for you, it's for everybody to do 15 to 20 minutes of aloud reading per day. Tran, what is this paragraph about?
Maybe economic the economic advantage.
I wouldn't completely agree with you on that. So I would answer it differently. And it's good to do this kind of exercise in partners or in groups, because if you disagree what the paragraph is about, then you can discuss it of why you disagree. I disagree. I actually think the answer is in the very, very first sentence. If you read the first sentence, then that would be my answer. Can you read that first sentence again?
When it comes down to it, lotteries are a choice.
Okay, so that would be closer to my answer of what this paragraph about, right? So there's good, there's bad. It's your choice whether or not you want to risk it, right? So I think that's what the author here is concluding on, is that it's hard to decide whether it's really good or bad for people or for society. It's just a kind of a personal choice, all right?
Yes.
All right, so sometimes the answer to the what question, Trent, it's in the topic sentence, so it's in the first one or two sentences, but that's not always true, especially not for the introductory and the conclusion. So be careful with it, but you can check that first, second sentence to see if there's, like, oh, okay, that's probably what it's about, right? Often the topic sentence. All right, Tran, don't go anywhere yet. Let's you've been in the class, I think, for most of it, haven't you?
Yes, I always attend to the class, even though in Vietnam it's midnight.
Yeah, it's late. I appreciate that. Okay, so I used the very first question as an example at the start of the class, the problem of gambling addiction. The answer was D, paragraph D, talking about how poor people can become very obsessed with lotteries, especially. Let's do the second one together. So this is matching the information to paragraphs. This is tricky to skim read for sure. So we need to read instead. When you're ready, can you read question number 2 for me?
Those less fortunate are more likely to play the lottery.
Okay, so based on the reading and discussing what each paragraph is about, you should have at least a good idea of whether the information is coming from the beginning, the first couple paragraphs, A or B, or is it coming kind of from the middle, C or D, or is it coming more from the end, like E and F? So where do you think this is coming from? The beginning, the middle, or more towards the end?
Yeah, since I just have a class and I just intend in the middle of the class, and so if I remember, it's kind of the C or D,
Yeah.
in the just.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you, Trent. It's somewhere in the middle. And even if we look at the previous question and we know that that one is D and it's talking about how poor people become obsessed with the lottery, then that also helps us to position. So we know it's somewhere around that area. So we go back and we check kind of C, D, maybe E. So here we go to C, and you said C, and it says the main argument against lotteries is that it acts as a tax on the poor. They have a statistical less likely to understand the lottery, right? That it's a bad bet. So you're right. And instead of just skimming, scanning, searching the whole text, you effectively understand that it's C, correct? Yeah?
Yes.
Okay. So the answer is there. And this is a good example, Tran, of why it's so important to go through each paragraph and think about what it's about, answer it, because it will help you to answer these questions really, really fast. Do you see how the two are connected? Understanding the topic of the paragraph and answering these questions?
Yes, it's quite easier
than just randomly skim reading or scanning for some key words, right? It's much easier to understand the key concept and then match it up with the key concept of the question, right? Make sense?
Yes.
Try the next one. Try number 3. Read that one for me.
The legality of lotteries.
Okay. Where do you think that is?
Sorry, maybe I have clueless about this.
Perfect. That's a great answer. Wait. That's a great answer. That's a perfect answer, because you said that you came around the middle of the text into the class, right?
Yes.
Okay,
Just,
so logic, Tran, logic helps a lot in the IELTS. So if you don't remember any of this and you came during the middle of the passage, where do you think the answer is for this one?
Maybe in the A or B.
Exactly, in the beginning where you missed it, right? Where you weren't there, right? If you're clueless, it probably means that you missed that one because you weren't in the class for that one, right? So logic will tell you that it was probably A or B, right? And I think a lot of your classmates will say, if you look in the chat, they'll say, yeah, that was in the beginning, right? That was the controversy of lotteries. Should they be legal? They shouldn't be legal. So that's A. So the other point there, Tran, is think about logic. Always try to use logic to help you and guide you, okay?
Yes.
All right. Awesome. Tran, thank you so much for helping me out and for being with me at such late hours of the night in your locality. I appreciate that.
Yes, thanks for giving me a chance
Absolutely.
to talk with you. Yes.
Have a good night, Tran. Bye
Yes,
for now.
goodbye. Yes, goodbye.
All right, that was Tran. Let's give Tran a thumbs up. That was really good. All right, Anna, I see that you've rejoined here. Are you ready? Let's give Anna a chance here for a couple of questions. Again, we've got some more questions to go here, so don't rush off. I need a few more volunteers to help me out, especially if you were in the class from the beginning and you've been watching and reading, then hang in there so you can help out with some questions, okay? I love all the thumbs up and the flexes and the rabbit ears. It's all great. All right, Anna, if you're still with us, let me know. I know that some of you might have to rejoin the server, so sometimes if there's a lot of us in here, then I might not see you. So Anna, if you're there, let me know. Okay. I'm not getting anything from Anna. So Habibe, are you there? Anna, if you join up again, just ping me again after. Habibe, if you're there. I don't think we've heard from Habibe in quite some time. Habibe is one of our members. Habibe, if you're there, let me know. I think we've, okay, there we go.
Hello?
Hi, Habibe.
Can you hear me?
Loud and clear. How are you doing?
I am fine, Adrian. How are you?
I'm doing good as well. Thanks for asking, Habibe. All right. I know you've been following from the start of the class because I can see you chatting.
Yeah.
So, that's great. All right. All right. Habibe, have you ever played the lottery?
No, I haven't played lottery all my life.
Yeah. Habibe, which country are you in?
I am from Turkey.
From Turkey. Yeah. Do you have lotteries in Turkey, I'm guessing, right?
Yeah. Lottery is there is a lottery in my country. Many people plays the lottery.
I bet
from
especially
anywhere.
yeah, and I bet especially these days because I know Turkey is going through some fairly serious financial and political problems, and that's when the lotteries tend to make a lot of money because people really want to win so that they can get out of there, right? Or get really rich fast, right? So yeah. No, the reason I'm asking is because I know that, for instance, in a lot of the Middle Eastern countries, lotteries are illegal. Like in Saudi Arabia and other countries, it's very much against Muslim religion, right? So there's only very few places that allow it, like Bahrain, for example. So it's kind of interesting.
Yeah, but just I know that some Muslim countries doesn't allow to play lottery or gambling, and for the religions, and for the Muslim religions, is since lottery is sins, and so they don't support
The lottery. Yeah, that's right.
the lottery. But in Turkey, it's no problem, and
That's why I was asking.
especially,
Yeah, that's why I was
maybe
curious.
you
Yeah.
know Kıbrıs. You know Kıbrıs? There's
No.
there's an island near very Turkey, and this island is very popular for the play lottery.
Yeah, I should say there's a lot of little places like that around the world. Like I said, Bahrain, that's close to Saudi Arabia, is also like that. Monaco in Europe, or Monte Carlo, is like that, right? So there's all these little kind of hidden places where people can play their sins. So-
Yes, but especially some cities for this gambling. Yeah, I mean,
Absolutely.
people prefer some cities for the play lottery.
Las
Some
Vegas.
cities really famous. Yes,
Las Vegas is the capital. Yeah. Okay, let's do number 4 here. So before we get ahead of ourselves, number 4. Whenever you're ready, go ahead and read that one for me.
The financial incentive for governments to run lotteries. I remember that, if I remember truly, maybe E, maybe F. Can I glance at again?
No. And no. No and no. My answer is no and no.
Okay.
All right. Financial incentive for government to run lotteries. Okay, so the reason that governments do lotteries, let me ask you this way, and this is another aspect of using logic in the reading section. Okay, Habibe, think about it this way. If you wrote this article, so if you had this job of writing a passage about lotteries, where would you put the information about the reason that governments do it? Would you put it in the beginning, the middle, or the end?
Let me think. The financial incentive for governments to run lotteries.
Where would you put information like that for your reader? Beginning, middle, or end?
And if I can write, I put the end.
No, don't put it in the end. Put it in the beginning. You have to tell your reader the reasons, right? So when you're writing an essay, Habibe, you should always, it's kind of like, in the task 2 class, the writing class that we just had earlier today, I said that in the introduction, you need to have a background. And the background is the definition and the importance. So it defines the topic and gives the importance of the topic to the reader. The financial incentives for governments to do lotteries is definitely a part of that background or foundation for the lottery. The rest of it follows from that, right? So first we want the reader to understand why they exist. Like, why do lotteries exist? So it would make a lot of sense to put this kind of information somewhere in the beginning of your essay so that your reader goes, oh, okay, this is what governments do, this is why they do it. And then you explain how it's good and bad for people who play the lottery. Does that logic make sense? Yeah, right? It makes logical sense. So be really, really careful with that. Think like, is this background information or is this an argument? If it's background information, it's most likely going to be somewhere at the beginning of the passage. Okay?
Okay.
All right, makes sense. So indeed, this one you will discover is in paragraph B. So it's just after the introduction. They introduce that lotteries are controversial, and then right away the author says, but this is why governments do it, right? They make a lot of money. Let's try the next one, number 5.
Community initiatives are funded by lottery proceeds.
Okay, so where would you put that? So where you're talking about, communities make money from money that's made from the lotteries. So would that be in the beginning, middle, or the end?
Actually, I don't remember this one, but if I were in exam and I glance at the very fastly,
quickly,
yeah, very quickly, and because I don't remember community initiative, maybe middle.
Yeah, exactly. Middle or the end. So somewhere from the middle to the end. Just knowing logically where you should search will save you so much time. Because if you're looking at the whole passage for each question, that's going to take you way too long to try to figure it out. So even if you can cut down half of the work, then you're on a much better path. Okay, so practice that at home, Habibe. Here it's definitely the middle to the end because it's one of the supporting points. It's one of the benefits of lottery, right? So this is going to be somewhere later by the author. This is more body paragraph information for sure. And so if we look at community initiatives like sports programs and so on, then we realize that paragraph D has this information, right? In favor of lotteries, it's harmless fun that results in tax income that goes straight to community programs. And so there it is. So you could put D as the answer, right?
Yeah.
F also contains that information, but not as much as D. So D is the best answer. It's a tricky one because 2 paragraphs have it, but D has more than F. Okay?
Okay.
All right, so that's a tough one. That's a high band answer. It's a band 8, band 9. Sometimes some information like this one, it's not just in 1 paragraph. It's actually in 2 paragraphs. So you have to really pay attention and figure out which paragraph has more information about it than the other one. Okay?
Okay. I want to ask some thing. For 14th question, fourth question, I don't know the incentive means, and so just I focus the incentive. What is the incentive? What is the incentive? What is the incentive?
No, don't do that. It's a good question. There's this really weird idea, and it's bad information on the internet and by some people, that if you see like a high level vocabulary, it's the most important piece to kind of figure out the answer. Absolutely not true. Okay. And for some people that might not be a tricky word. For some people that might be a very common word, right? So it has nothing to do with it. There's no connection with the vocabulary difficulty and the answer. No connection at all. If I take out this word, so if I remove the word incentive and I just say the financial for government to run lotteries, I can still easily figure out that it's B without that word. Okay, because it's still paragraph B that talks about the financial reason for governments to do lotteries. So you don't need that word to understand that the answer is B. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So that was a really good question, Abibi, because a lot of people think, oh, I have to understand that tricky word. That's the only way. No, not at all. Okay.
Okay.
All right. In fact, a good strategy for that situation is take out that word, remove the word, and see if you can figure it out anyway. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Good question.
Okay. Okay, sir.
Thank you so much, Habibe. Have an awesome rest of the day.
Thank you. Thank you. See you. See you later.
All right. Let's take another volunteer here. Let's take Kave. Kave, if you're there. Could you give me a shot? I sure can, Kave. Are you ready? Kave will jump into a question or two here. I love how there's, so many people volunteering. It's awesome. Kave, I don't hear you. I know you.
How are you?
Oh, there you are. Hi. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Life is like a roller coaster. Something is down and something is up. But
sometimes up, sometimes down. Yeah.
Yeah. Same.
Yeah, life is like a roller coaster, and the trick, Kave, is just to enjoy the ride, enjoy the ups, enjoy the downs.
Yeah, can you actually go along with the life? We don't have any choice.
That's right. And sometimes it's not just an up and down, but sometimes it's a loop. You're going around. Those are the really exciting ones. you're looping around like a roller coaster.
Around, yeah.
All right. Okay, let's jump into a couple of questions here. We're going to do a little bit of true, false, not given.
Okay,
so
the first.
Okay. Yeah. So this is where you have to figure out if it's true. So the author says, yep, this is it. Or if it's false, the author says, nope, it's different. Or the author doesn't tell us. It doesn't matter if it's true or false. The author doesn't actually talk about it. So whenever you're ready, read number 6.
Sure. Lotteries are outlawed almost everywhere.
Okay.
In the first paragraph, I see outlawed, if I'm not mistaken, but almost everywhere, no. I think it's false. It's the given because it's really important information. But then I decided into this question, I think false is true. I don't really.
Very good. Yeah, that's brilliant. That's exactly how you do it. So this is the strategy. You're using the right strategy. First you figured out that it's given. Did you learn the strategy from us or somewhere else?
Yeah, from you, Adrian.
Oh, awesome.
You always have a good strategy, always.
I'm happy to hear it. All right. That's it. So you figured out it's given. Yeah, the legality is very important for this passage. Is it legal? Is it not legal? It's present tense, right? So lotteries are. If it were past tense, lotteries were outlawed. Is it still true? Or is it false? It would be actually true. So if it were so if it were past tense, lotteries were outlawed, it would be true. But because of the way it is, it's correct what you said. You said it's false because lotteries are not outlawed. And that was very smart, right? Lotteries are legal in Turkey, as we just heard. They're legal in Canada. Which country are you from?
I'm currently in Tehran, in the capital city of Iran.
Iran. Yeah. Are lotteries legal there?
Actually, no. Religious people always not allowed some people to get their scene.
but you know that in many other countries it is allowed, right? Yeah. So
Habiba said Cyprus, I think, not Cyprus. It's Cyprus. Cyprus is a world leader holding lottery, some huge money
Yeah.
out there. Yeah, in
Yeah.
Cyprus. Yeah.
One shocking fact, actually, last year, was it this year? This year or last year was the first year in history that a person won $1 billion on the US lottery. One person.
Wow.
$1 billion, not million.
You know,
Billion.
I heard that in Las Vegas, there's a note actually watch for seeing a time. I think seeing time is actually money. Money always actually work or actually talk. Money talking.
Yeah.
There's a program in Las Vegas. Yeah.
It is, yeah. Las Vegas is, it's the city that never sleeps. It's also called Sin City. So,
Not Sin City.
no, that's the nickname. That's the nickname of Las Vegas. It's called Sin City. I mean, for obvious reasons, right? So, like Cyprus. All right.
Okay.
So that was the right strategy, everybody. Figure out if it's given, not given, then figure out if it's true or false. You did a great job with that. Do you want to try number 7 just for fun?
Okay. Okay, give me a chance, please.
Go for it.
In the long run, a person who plays the lottery should expect to lose money. A person who plays the lottery should accept. I think it is important. No. Yes, it is important. Yes, because should expect to lose money. But it's about then we are employ the strategy in false or true. Okay, let me a sec. In the long run, a person who in the long run, I see it in the paragraph C, I think. In the long run, okay, a person who plays the lottery should expect to lose money. I think it's true.
Absolutely.
Yes, I think.
Yeah. Absolutely true, and that's the correct answer. Good. I love how I was waiting patiently, and you know what? Good for you. Never change your thinking. So you notice how at first you're like, oh, it's given because it's about playing the lottery and winning and losing, right? So it is a given piece of information, and for a very quick second there, you almost changed your thinking to be like, oh, it's not important, but then thankfully you didn't. Thankfully you realized, no, I should go with my first feeling. This is important information. It's about winning, losing, lottery. Yeah, of course it's important.
It's kind of made a split decision.
Don't do that. Just go with your first. Always go with your first, right? So yeah, it's given for sure. And in the long run, I don't know about you, but I'm pretty sure I'm in a negative when it comes to lottery. I've paid more than I've ever won. So yeah, it's true. We generally, most people will lose money playing the lottery long term. Absolutely. So it's true.
Yeah.
You're doing great. That's exactly what it's 2 for 2.
Kind of you.
Yeah. 2 for 2. That's what you need to do. All right. Okay. Thank you so much for volunteering, Kaveh. I appreciate that.
Thank you for serving a lot of great strategy for improving English.
You're very welcome. Kaveh, have a great rest of your day and come back again.
Okay, bye for now. Have a great day. Thank you very much. Bye. Bye.
All right, that was Kaveh. Really good. Yeah, that was awesome. Okay, ladies and gents, we are nearing the end of our class, but you should not near the end of your studies. Answer the last few questions. So answer 8 and 9 and complete this summary completion, reverse insurance. Here are the choices. You can send your answers by email. Here's my email address again, and I will send you back the answer key. Okay? Thank you so much to all the volunteers. That was brilliant. Thank you so much to our moderators, also brilliant, for keeping the class on track and focused. That was really great. Don't forget this super special 100,000 Instagram followers that we're celebrating. We've got that really good discount code for you just for the next few days. We've probably got a couple more days on it. So IG100K, it's behind me here. On the websites, 25% discount. Okay, go to aehelp.com and you'll get all of these reading materials. You'll get a lot of the strategies, the videos. Use the materials in the live classes to follow with all of the learning. That was really, really good. Thank you, everybody. I'll be back tomorrow with speaking part 2, speaking part 3, the same time. Speaking part 2 will be a members chat class. Speaking part 3 will be an all chat class. Come back, join me tomorrow, have fun with me, have fun with English, and improve that IELTS band score. I'm Adrian. I'm signing out from beautiful Victoria, Canada. Much love to all of you, wherever you are in the world. Bye for now, everybody.